The annual enrollment dashboard is only updated once a year after we've received our finalized enrollment data for the year. Basically, this dashboard can be used to look at trends campus-wide over time. So this isn't used for program-specific enrollment information. It's kind of just to look more at the overall student body at RTC. And you can disaggregate it by other things to kind of get at smaller populations if you want. But again, this is not a program enrollment dashboard. This is just information. Normally when we report on enrollment, we're looking at, all students across the campus. So here you can see our enrollment over the last 5 years, and we did have an uptick in 15-16, and it did go down a little bit in 16-17. And so you might be asking, well, that's interesting. We have this decrease, so where are we seeing these decreases? And one thing you can do, if you click on this enrollment comparison tab up here at the top, this tab will allow you to look at trends disaggregated by various filters. So right now, it's actually disaggregated by student intent, and then there's a filter selected down here for student of color. So I'm just going to uncheck this so we can look at everything. So right now, when you choose from this drop-down menu, it will disaggregate this information by any of the things you choose here, but you can only choose one on this drop-down list. So if you want to get a little bit more granular, you can choose a filter down here under these 4 options, and then also do a disaggregate by. And you can filter, if you want to filter on all 4 of these down here, you also can do that. So what you can see here is that overall enrollment has increased in the academic transfer, the general education area. Apprenticeships have also gone up quite a bit. Slight increase in college and career pathways. And then these 2 here, these are basically our degree-seeking cohorts. And we've had a slight increase here. Where we're seeing a big dip is actually in this other category, and that's generally students who are just taking like supplemental courses, and so that actually went down by what it looks like 8% or so. So that might be accounting for some of the decrease we saw in 16-17. And then if you want to, like I said, you can choose, okay, we want to look at where we're seeing increases in students of color, like what intent code, and you can also, we want to see students of color maybe that are first generation. So you could see that here. And one thing to keep in mind about the first generation variables, this is based on self-reported data. So a lot of times we just don't have very accurate information, but this is based on what we do know. So it looks like it's about 8 or 9% each year. You can also look at Pell recipients by student of color if you'd like. We can undo that and look to see, Pell overall decrease in 15-16, but it went back up a little bit in 16-17, for example. Look at veterans, and overall veterans make up a pretty small percentage of the population, but if you look at certain intents, so if you choose your degree-seeking intent codes, you're going to see a slightly higher percentage of veterans, and it did increase a little bit in 16-17. In fact, it was the highest percentage over the last 5 years. So these are the kinds of things you can do with this dashboard, give you an idea. And one thing to note too, if you have data on here and you want to get a quick kind of copy of it, you want to download it, you can actually click this download button and you can save it as a PDF or an image. So if you want to just kind of have that to reference really quickly, you can save that. And so when you go to save it, you'll have this this language up here that kind of reminds you what you're filtering on underneath here. So you can kind of, when you print it out, at least you'll have that information readily available so you know exactly what you're saving, and it's kind of a nice reference for you there. And one last thing, a new feature that we've added to the dashboards, if you have questions along the way, or you're like, you know what, I really think that we need this filter here, that'd be really helpful for me, you just click on this question mark and it will send an email to rtcresearch@rtc.edu and just fill out your question or your comment, and you can do that right in the dashboard. And we're always willing and ready to help you with anything you need in terms of being able to navigate these dashboards, so don't hesitate to reach out to RTC Research with any of your questions. Thank you.